Hello guys, welcome to CS Tech Solution. Today's learn is data analytics. Today's learn as a part 2 as a data storage and the organization. Data storage and the organizations is help us to store the data as safely and as arrange it as properly and as so that it can be used as easily as search, update and analyze. First is a database. A database is organize the collections of the data stores as the electronically, and it helps to store, manage, update and the retrieve the data sets quickly. And the simple definitions, a database is a digital place where the information is stored in a organized way. And the examples as a bank customers record, as a hospital patient records, and the school student information, online shopping orders as a employee details. And the real life examples, bank is stores as customers names, account numbers, balance, mobile numbers and address, and all this information is stored in a database. And the advantage is stores a large amount of the data, easy to search, secure, fast access and easy to update. Second is the tables. A table is a collection of related data is arranged in rows and the columns, and each the tables is store the information about a one subject. And the examples, first table's names is student table. So the student related data is show as a student IDs, names, age and the course. And this table is stores as only as a student information. And the examples of the tables as student tables, employee tables, customer tables, product tables and the order tables. Third is a row and the columns. Row, row is contains the informations about one record, and each the rows is represent of one person's or as a one item information. And the examples, and the student ID, name and age as to gives. And first row is there as the 101 and the names is Rahul's and the age is 20, sorry, as the age is 20 is one record and the one row to find the data, and this is the complete lines in as a one row. And a colons is stores one types of information, and this table has to throw as a three columns as the student ID, names and age, and as a colon says stores as a specific types of store the information like the ID to find defined as a ID, not as a string values. And the name says inside the names to gives, not IDs and ages to write and any numbers has to give. And colons are as a student ID, names and age, all about as a colons. And fourth is a record and the field. Record is one complete set of informations about persons or the items. Record means as a row, and ID, names and cities has to give. And 101's Rahul's and the Surat is a one record, otherwise as called as a one row, and this entire rows is a one record. And the field means as a columns, and a field is a single piece of information in a record. And the examples, the ID, names and the cities. And field names, ID, names and cities has to give in these tables. And as ID, names and cities, and the single pieces of information means as these tables ID is a single species of information, and this as only gives the ID, not a names and the city's name to write in this part. And This is another is the names. Names is specified. The field is names, and only as define the names, not any numbers and cities names to write. Fifth is a data type. Or data types is tells or database what kinds of the data can be stored in a columns, and common types of the data types as first is integer is called as int, is stores of whole numbers, and example says 200s, and a decimal as a float and the doubles, and is store the numbers with a decimal points, and the example as a 25.5, and text is a where cares and the cares to write, and is store the letters and the word or as a sentence. Example as a Rahul, as a date is a date keyword, and is store the dates, and the example as a 1508 is a month as defined, and after the year as a 2026, and is a booleans as a store only two values like a true or the false, and the examples is a paid is equal as a true, otherwise as write the false. 6 is a relational database. A relational database is store the data in multiple tables that are as connected using the commons fields, and it reduce duplicates data and as improve the organizations. And the examples are student tables as the student ID and names as to gives, and the course table inside the student ID and the course as to gives, and this tables is the relationship is there is the both the tables is connected using the student ID. Both the table inside the one columns is the student IDs is there. And a popular relationship database as MySQL, PostgreSQL as a Oracle database, Microsoft SQL servers, SQLite. Seventh is a primary key. A primary key is a columns that as a uniquely identify the each the record in the tables, and rules as must be as a unique and cannot be a null or the empty, and one primary key as per tables. And why use the primary key as a identify each the record as uniquely, as a prevent a duplicates record and help connect the tables. And the examples student IDs and the names, and the student ID is a primary key, and so the not duplicate values has to write, and as must be as a unique, and not a nulls or the empty in a student ID. Student ID is a primary key. 8 is a foreign key. Foreign keys is colons and that links one tables to the another's, and it a reference of a primary keys in another tables. And the examples student tables, and the student ID is a primary key and the names has to give, and fees tables inside receipt numbers, and as a student IDs to gives in the use as a foreign keys is the reference key, and the amount as to show. And here the student ID in a fees tables is a foreign keys, and because it refer or otherwise called as a reference to student tables. And advantage is connected the tables and reduce the duplicate data, and as maintain the data's consistency. Ninth is a data warehouse. A data warehouse is a large store systems that is connect the data from different sources for reportings and analysis, and store historical data, and is mainly used for business intelligence. And a simple definitions, a data warehouse stores a large amount of organized and historical data for as an analysis. And the examples, companies is collect the data from sales department, HR department, as a finance department, marketing department, and all the data is stored together in a data warehouse for the reporting. And the advantage is a fast reporting, historical analysis as better business decisions, and support the dashboards, and real life examples as Amazon stores in year of the sales data in the data warehouse to analyze the customers as buying the trends. And 10th is a data lake. Data lake is stores all the types of the data like the structure, semi-structure, unstructured, and in its organized format. And unlike data warehouse, data is not a clean or as organized as before the storage. Data lakes is large storage areas where raw data in stored for our futures as use. And the types of the data stored as Excel files, image, videos, PDF, as audio files, sensor data, as social media post, database record. And advantage, store all the types of the data, is handle the very large amount, very large volumes of the data, and useful for AIs and the machine learnings, and the flexibles and the scalables. And real life examples, social media's companies store the photos, videos, message, and as users activities in data lake. Thank you guys to watch the videos. Please subscribe the channel, on the notification and bell icon.